Since it's a combined lecture, I told you we have completed the features of science. Then we are going ahead. There will be for 5 minutes. There may be a little overlapping for one batch. Otherwise, rest is fine. Okay. So we are going to discuss science as empirical and practical. Okay. What do you mean by empirical? Empiricism. See, that word is little new to you. Empiricism means the knowledge which comes from the sensory experience. What do you mean by that? आपको जो देख सकता है, आपको जो feel कर सकता है, only that fact has to be accepted. That is the meaning of the term empiricism. It emphasizes the role of experience and evidence. These are the two things, children. Science will accept only those things which is, it is experiment. It is not experience. It is experiment. Science emphasizes the role of experiment and evidence. So empiricism means anything which is based on evidence, anything which is based on experiment. Okay. Empiricism in the philosophy of science emphasizes evidences, especially as discovered in the experiment. Same sentence we are repeating. So anybody, suppose that somebody is asking you, what do you mean by empiricism? Children, empiricism means what? Anything which gives importance to evidence, anything which gives importance to experiment. Okay, put it in the chat box. What is empiricism meaning? Because it's a little difficult word. Empiricism. Science is based on empiricism. Chat box mein likho. Empiricism is based on two features. What are the two features? I cannot see the answer. What are the two features? Bolo. I can see only good morning. Answer has not come. Empiricism gives importance to two features in science. Now somebody has written. Correct. That is correct. Evidence and experiment. Now children have written. Evidence and experiment. Science होने पर prove करना ही पड़ेगा. Okay. Now people are writing. That's good. So it is a fundamental part of the scientific method that all hypotheses and theory must be tested. Look here. This is what we were explaining in the other class. Science is believing in hypothesis. Science is believing in testing. Science is believing in evidence. These three things everybody should make it very clear to yourself. That is, science is believing in hypothesis, then testing, then evidence. How can you test the hypothesis? You can test the hypothesis with the help of evidence. I will tell you the example. That day I had given you one example of hypothesis. Hypothesis means what? It's a statement. Okay. Hypothesis is a tentative statement. It is not proved. Hypotheses have to be proved. Once I give the example, I hope it will be more clear to you. See, online lectures are more useful than offline lectures. Okay, I'm making a statement like that. Online lectures are more useful than offline lectures. When I make a statement like this, I will be making two hypotheses. Hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2. What are the two hypotheses? First hypothesis is, I will say, online lectures are better than offline lectures. Online lectures are better than offline lectures. This is one hypothesis. Second hypothesis is, online lectures are not better. Online lectures are not better. So there are two hypotheses I made. First one, it is they are better. Second one, they are not better. However, I do not know what is right. I am not sure this is H1, this is H2. Two hypotheses I am making. What is hypothesis, children? A statement. But मेरे लिए मालूम नहीं है कौन सा right है. How can I find out? I have to do the testing. That means I will collect the data. मैं students से data collect करेगा, not only from Narayan Guru, but the data will be collected from various colleges of city of Mumbai. Then I will test. Then I will get some result. वो result में मेरे लिए मालूम पड़ेगा. For example, online classes are not effective or they are not better than offline. मेरे लिए ऐसे एक रिपोर्ट आ गया समझो, रिजल्ट आ गया समझो, मैं क्या करेगा, मेरा फर्स्ट हाइपोथेसिस मैं रिजेक्ट करेगा, because मेरा फर्स्ट हाइपोथेसिस turned out to be wrong. Children, I hope you are listening rather than making the noise. Look, 1 minute. इतना बड़ा क्लास में अनम्यूट करके बैठने पर, yes, there are children. Anjali Kanojia, Sishan, mute yourself. Roll number 59. Then Anjali Kanojia, mute yourself. Anjali, still now you are not mute. You are not muted. Shamal Mane. What is your roll number? Shamal Mane. Shamal Mane, what is your roll number? '71. Okay, mute yourself. Okay. Anjali Kanojia, neither roll number nor muted. Yeah. Prajapati Rajkumari, there are so many people. There, so Prajapati, mute yourself. So I was explaining to you, there are 3 steps in scientific theory. Step number 1, there should be a hypothesis. Step number 2, there should be testing. Step number 3, there should be evidence and conclusion. And I had given you an example of hypothesis. What is hypothesis? Hypothesis is only the statement. Because मेरे लिए जब स्टडीज चालू करेगा, टेस्टिंग चालू करेगा, मेरे लिए ये कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं है मेरा आंसर राइट है या रॉन्ग है. सो मैं क्या करेगा, मैं 2 स्टेटमेंट रखेगा, बाद में आई विल टेस्ट इट, डाटा कलेक्ट करके मैं टेस्ट करेगा, देन आई विल प्रूव इट. इफ माय assumption or if my hypothesis is correct, मैंने फर्स्ट हाइपोथेसिस एक्सेप्ट करेगा, सेकंड को रिजेक्ट करेगा. लेकिन सेकंड राइट है, then I will accept second and I will reject the first one. Okay, that is how we are planning. I had given you one example about hypothesis. Online lectures are more effective than offline lectures. Second hypothesis is online lectures are not as effective as offline lectures. I do not know what is right. मैं कैसा प्रूव करेगा? हर एक कॉलेज से स्टूडेंट के पास से डाटा कलेक्ट करके मैं उसको चेक करेगा, मैं उसको टेस्ट करेगा. Whatever is the information received, that data only I will be taking. And my result shows that online lectures are not as effective as offline. So मैंने second hypothesis को accept करेगा and first hypothesis को reject करेगा. Okay. Then क्या लिखा है उधर? I have to take this up. It is a fundamental part of the scientist theory or scientific method. All hypotheses and theory must be tested. See this. And stands against observations of all natural world rather than depending upon priori reasoning. Again creating problem. Sheikh Faisan, mute yourself. Children, it is a fundamental rule of scientific method. What is scientific method? Whatever you are telling, Whatever you are telling, that has to be proved. That is a fundamental rule of scientific theory. Hypothesis has to be proved, okay, and don't depend upon prior reasoning. See this word. Don't depend upon priori reasoning or intuition, not intrusion, intuition. What do you mean by intuition, children? Madam, मेरे को लगता है ऐसा होगा. That science will not accept. That is intuition. मेरे को लगता है मैडम सितंबर फर्स्ट वीक से कॉलेज चालू होगा. That is not a scientific fact. Why? I have to prove that. Why did I read that? Or why did I say that? That is important. Prior reasoning. What do you mean by that? Mind में जो already idea है, उसके ऊपर I cannot make the theory. Science में theory बनाने के लिए hypothesis चाहिए and it has to be tested. That is very clear. Now we are going to talk who are the important scientists who were associated with empirical or empiricism. That time scientists were known as philosophers. I told you. Science was coming under philosophy. So they were called as philosophers. And philosophers were associated. Who are the philosophers who said science is based on empiricism? Aristotle, apne pada. This is the new person. Robert Brusatis, Francis Bacon, apne pada. Robert Boyle, John Locke, George Berkeley, David Hume. Here, most of the scientists you have heard. That time we were not calling them as scientists, we were calling them as philosophers. Now, science got two branches. One is the theoretical knowledge, other is the practical knowledge. So some people work in theoretical knowledge, others work in practical knowledge. So what is a scientific theory? That is what we are going to explain here. Okay. Scientific theory is well substantiated. देखो, substantiated मतलब supported. Well supported explanation of a natural world based on what? Based on the body of the fact that have been repeatedly confirmed through observation and experiment. The 3 points you are accepting. Scientific theory has the following features. Scientific theory has following features. What are the following features? First one, it is having substantial explanation. Substantiate explanation. Point number 2, it is based on observation. Point number 3, it is based on experiment. Okay, so theoretically, science mein, when we say theory, it is again based on observation and experiment. Construction of valid theory is a major goal of science. आपको मालूम है, science is moving, especially physics. They are all based on construction of valid theory. See this word, valid. Theory को reason होना चाहिए. Okay, people are saying COVID, like pandemic, COVID pandemic 19. The third stage will come, third variant will come, fourth will come. But if the scientists are able to prove it, if it is proved, then it will be accepted. ये देखो, theory is built, theory of built upon one or more hypotheses and upon the evidences. So how the scientists are making the theory? I already told you, they are creating some hypothesis, then they are collecting the evidence. ये लोगों का जो evidence, वो hypothesis के साथ जाने पर, that theory will be accepted. Otherwise, it will not be accepted. Okay. A theory contains, theory में क्या-क्या points है देखो. Theory contains reasoning and logical connections. नींद में भी ये point आना चाहिए. Scientific theory consisted of two things. Point number 1, reasoning. Point number 2, logical connection. What do you mean by logical connection? Logic के अनुसार सोचना चाहिए. I told you many times students are asking, "Abhi to thoda kam hua hai, last month and all, madam, when the college will start?" See, you yourself are reading the newspapers, you are listening to TV, you are watching YouTube channel. You know that COVID cases are, I am talking about 2, 3 months before, COVID cases were increasing. There was the period when there was no oxygen cylinder, no ICU. We are talking about city of Mumbai. That time पर you are asking, madam, when the college will reopen. So that is absolutely illogical question. आप जो पूछता है उसके लिए लॉजिक होना चाहिए. I told you logic means step by step process. That is logic. And theory में logic भी होना चाहिए, reason भी होना चाहिए. I told you we have to prove that why it is so. That is what is scientist. H2O leads to water. So I should have the reason. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. If I take, I will get water. I can prove that. So reasoning भी है, logic भी है. Newton's theory of gravitation. Newton's theory of gravitation. स्कूल में पढ़ा है. The pen is not activated. That is why the time is taking. Newton's law of gravitation, motion of planet, Einstein's theory of relativity, germ theory of disease, cell theory of organism are the examples. There are so many world famous theories. And one of such theory is law, Isaac Newton's law of gravitation and the motion of planet. Einstein's theory of relativity. All these are the world famous theories. In physics, theories such as classical mechanics, ये कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आएगा because science है. Science का important topic है. Whoever is having the sister or brother, if they are studying in 11th standard or 12th standard, they will tell you. So science में you will study about classical mechanics. Then you will be studying about thermodynamics and also about electromagnetism. Okay, these are all the theory. Why? They are based on evidence and they are based on reasoning. I am just again doing the recap. Children, theory means what? I told you scientific theories are based on 2 things. What are they? First point.
Reasoning and logical connection.
Perfect. There should be logical connection. Whatever you are talking, it should be logical. Again, so many children are asking, madam, where we will submit the FC project? 100 times I told you, I will be giving you the Google Classroom ka code. There you will be submitting. I have not given the code. Still the same question will be asked, madam, where to submit the FC project? That is highly illogical. So scientists believe in logic, scientists believe in reason. Then they had given the example of theories. World famous theory is Newton's theory of gravitation, the motion of planet that also Newton has developed, Einstein's theory of relativity, okay, cell theory of organism. These are all world famous theories. So science में ultimately what is important is you should have the reason and you should have the logic. And physics ka excellent theories, classical mechanics, thermodynamics, and electromagnetism. They are really excellent, but they are only the theory. Okay. अभी practical knowledge में क्या difference है देखो. Science 1 minute. Science is sometimes acting as practical knowledge. ये देखो. Science is acting as the practical knowledge. देखो, how do you call science as practical? All science are not having practical knowledge. देखो, practical knowledge of science refers to application of scientific knowledge to increase human welfare. ये देखो, आपका थियरी आप ऐसा अप्लाई करता है, ह्यूमन वेलफेयर को वो बढ़ाता है. जो थियरी ह्यूमन वेलफेयर इंक्रीज करता है, वो थियरी को वी विल कॉल इट एज प्रैक्टिकल साइंस. ओके, practical knowledge of science or practical science is that science which will increase what? Which will increase the human welfare. And they had given beautiful example. Dekho, science is the body of knowledge about nature which man has accumulated over the ages. With the knowledge, man has found it possible to develop useful things. You see this word? For the comforts, happiness, or for peace. One minute. There we or shit. 1 second, children. Sometimes no. उधर एक word wrong है, for नहीं है, or. Okay. So what I am telling is scientists can find out things. Either it can be for the comforts of the human being or for the happiness or peace, or sometimes it is for war also. Dekho. That is the problem. I will tell you the best example. Scientists ने बहुत सारा inventions किया है. घर में today fan is there, air conditioner is there, TV is there, mobile is there. These are all the contributions of scientists. But some contributions are very dangerous. It will lead to war. That is the problem of practical knowledge of science. You know that during 1944, what is the speciality of 1944? Second World War was ending. Okay. Second World War was ending. That time, you know that America has put bomb on Japan. Everybody is aware. Hiroshima and Nagasaki में America ने bomb डाला because Japan has attacked Pearl Harbor of US. That was the reason. So America ने जापान के ऊपर bomb डाला. And this is a very negative approach of science. And a bomb बनाने का theory, आपको मालूम है किधर से आ गया? That has come from theory of relativity. And theory of relativity has been written by theory of Albert Einstein, and Albert Einstein has theory of relativity. In that he has proved energy को break करने पर वो bomb बना सकता है. और अमेरिका ने bomb बनाया और जापान के ऊपर गिरा. उसके बाद Einstein has landed into depression. He stopped talking to the people. Why? He was telling, मेरा theory के वजह से today America has used the weapons to fight Japan, and so many people died. So what I was telling is Albert Einstein has landed into depression because scientific theories can be good or bad, inventions can be good or bad. Some of them are very good. अभी आप देखो, mobiles. You cannot say that mobile is a bad invention. Mobile is a very good invention because you are able to do so many things through the mobile. The only issue is you should know how to control it, how to use it. It is your own choice. Please remember that. So children, what is practical knowledge? क्या समझ में आया? Theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge में क्या difference है? Theoretical knowledge is based on theory. Practical knowledge क्या है? लिखा है उधर, पढ़ो.
Relativity.
नहीं, my dear children. Practical knowledge, one word is very, very important. Practical knowledge means it is increasing the human welfare. See this word.
Increasing women's welfare.
welfare, human welfare. जब theory apply करेगा, that is known as practical knowledge. When the theory is applied, it is known as practical knowledge. I told you Albert Einstein has found out, or Albert Einstein has discovered the theory of relativity. And Einstein को Nobel Prize भी उसके ऊपर ही मिला. The theory of relativity got plus as well as minus. But America has used it for negative purpose, for the purpose of war. Nowadays, there is a clear-cut undertaking. Scientific theory should not be used for negative things. It is very important. I told you take the case of mobile. That is an example of practical knowledge. It got so many plus point and minus point. You take the case of TV. You take the case of laptop. लैपटॉप में बहुत अच्छा है, आपको कंफर्टेबली पढ़ा सकता है, आपको एक्सप्लेन कर सकता है, लेकिन लैपटॉप इज ऑल्सो क्रिएटिंग प्रॉब्लम टू योर आईज. That is why it is said that everything got plus as well as minus. Engineer's job in general is not to discover the new knowledge, but to take the knowledge which has been discovered in the past and use them to design better structure. So who is an engineer? Engineer is not that one who is always producing new things. ऐसा नहीं है कि इंजीनियर हर टाइम नया प्रोड्यूस करने का है. इंजीनियर को ये भी आना चाहिए जो एक्सिस्टिंग नॉलेज है उसको आगे कैसा लेके जाएगा. How to take the existing knowledge ahead. That is more important. Children, now you please tell me theoretical and practical science में क्या difference है? Correct. Human welfare. Practical science means what, children? Tell me.
Increasing human welfare.
Perfect.
To increasing women welfare.
Yes, मतलब ह्यूमन सोसाइटी के लिए अच्छा करना चाहिए, अच्छा इन्वेंशन करना चाहिए.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that for example, scientists find out lift. नया बड़ा बिल्डिंग में चढ़ने के लिए लिफ्ट नहीं होने पर आप कैसा चढ़ेगा? It is very difficult. So the lift has been invented. And I told you बड़ा बड़ा मोबाइल फोन था बिगिनिंग में, अभी एकदम छोटा हो गया. Screeners, सब जगह में अब देखो, there is a lot of creativity, and the creativity that will add to knowledge. And even the new engineers, what they have to think is, har time they should not think that they will become Isaac Newton or Einstein on a fine day. They should take the existing theory ahead. जो थियरी एक्सिस्टिंग है उसको आगे लेके जाने और डेवलप करने का है. That should be the characteristics of new engineers. Okay, put it in the chat box. Is it clear to you or not? Okay, आप बहुत कुछ लिखते हैं चैट बॉक्स में. Thank you. Yes, देखा भी. So I will be sharing that.